All you beauties, you lovely beauteous people here. Let me turn this up a little bit so I can hear myself a little bit better. There you go. How are you all? Hello, who's here? Judith Owen is here. Judith Owen is talking to Judith Owen. Look at me, I'm wearing black. Oh my God, I've turned into some kind of Greek person. It is so hot. How hot is it where you are? It is so, I'm coming closer. It is so fucking hot. Vincent, good afternoon. Mike, Kate Hills, there she is. There she is. I'm looking very, I'm looking very sort of like Greek summer. I'm in black. I've got cutouts. But I've got the turquoise. We're in the turquoise. Turquoise to you. I can't play with it, so I'll be removing this very, very soon. But actually, this is how I started the day after I'd been in the water boogie boarding, and I thought, fuck it, I can't even be bothered to get out of this. It's so hot. Hot, 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 hot. Who have we got here? Kate again. Mark Traves. Oh, it's bucketing down. Sorry. It's bucketing down in good old Blighty. Sorry about that, everyone. I've heard, isn't there Storm Ellen or something coming? Not Ellen, obviously, but it could be. It could be Ellen DeGeneres right now. She's very angry right now. Who can blame her? She's been found out. Who else have we got here? Joel, hello, darling. Sylvia, hey. Very gypsy-esque, says my sister. My sister is on, I can start. You know this is how it goes. The Owen woman. I can start now. She said it looked good. She said I should wear it. Hey, Kevin Albin. How are you? How you looking? Fantastic, I believe. Mike Waddington, hello, my love. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, the numbers are going up. Here we go. So you're all hiding from the rain, and I'm hiding from the fecking sun. Oh, the irony. Oh, the humanity. That's all I can say. Let me see who else we've got here. Gabriele Nicotra. It's hot, 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 hot. In Nola, it is stinking hot. But hey, suck it up, mate. It could be raining. Yeah, raining. Oh, it was raining earlier, so I take that back. Kathy, hello, darling. Kathy is here. For fuck's sake. She's the first for fuck's sake, by the way. What's up with you people? Only Kathy has said for fuck's sake. What do I have to do to get you to swear and be as just vulgar as me? It's all I want. It's all I ask for. And more numbers. Just try and be vulgarians, would you? Who else is coming on now, Kathy? There you are. Ulf! There you are from Sweden. From Sweden. I like a little Swedish today, don't I? Although Greek. It's like a Greek Swede. But you know, I've got the kind of the cheekbones going, Ulf. You can see there. They could cut a swan's neck, these cheekbones. Who else have we got? Hang on. Hannah! Welsh weather has arrived in London. Oh, fuck. Monsoon in Ireland. Trix, there you go, Trixie. Steve. Feck, he says. That's all I need to know. For feck's sake, it's coming hard now. Coming hard and fast. For feck's sake. If I say to you that in the valley here in LA, it was 104 yesterday. 104. We know that in Death Valley, it's the hottest. I think it has been on the, they said it was on the planet or something. It was 150 or 130. Am I losing my mind? It was 150? It was 130, maybe. I think it was 50 C's, but it was 130. And and things live there. I mean, say things, obviously, not a lot, but a lot, but not us things. Angel, wet and muggy in London. Yeah. It's called summer, mate, isn't it? Summer in Britain. All those, remember those fabulous summers? I remember them. They would be spent in Wales. My sister and I would be sharing a bed, and it would be pissing down outside. Although we did have great times, obviously, in Oxwich and Tenby and going to the Gower, all around the Gower. But there were days, of course, nay weeks, where we would be indoors looking at the rain, and our breath. It's summer, but we still saw our breath, and condensation would be flowing off the window. Don't even get me started. But the true Welsh summers, yes is all I can say. Who else we got here? Yes, wet, yes, the frizz is real, Angel, yes, it's true. All right, well, here we go. Now, hot on the heels of Mopping Up Karma. I'm actually going to start, I believe I will start right now, yes I will. I'm going to start the next album that came immediately following that. And that is this little baby. 12 arrows, can you see it against the reflection? Yes. 12 arrows. I have started to relearn all the songs that I did on this album. And it's one of my favorite photographs, I have to tell you. It is one of my favorite photographs. It was done in this house here. And it was done by an extraordinary photographer who is normally known as an actress, and what a feckin' actress she is, the fabulous Jamie Lee Curtis, who just so happens is a remarkable photographer. We became friends, of course, because of the whole Spinal Tap thing with Chris Guest and Harry. But she is a huge music fan, a huge music lover, and is an incredible photographer. And she did the whole package. She did the whole thing in here, black and white, stunning, beautiful. Oh, amazing. And I will always be so grateful to her. And it ended up being that later on, for a few albums along, she did her directorial debut, a music video directorial debut with me as well. So it's been amazing working with her, and it was an absolute joy. And I'm going to start with her favourite song, actually, amazingly. I think it was the song that she really, and she loved them all, but I think this one really grabbed a hold of her. And you'll understand for truly fairly easy reasons. After doing Mopping Up Karma, after the Capital years, I was in such a fucking mess, as you can imagine. I vowed that I would never jump through hoops. I vowed that I would never let a suit I could or couldn't do with my music, who I could or couldn't be, who could own and basically manipulate and disappoint me again, because these things happen over and over. And as if you remember the story, people who are on this early, if you haven't been, I was signed to Capitol Records, and it was meant to be like with Mopping Up Karma, a huge, massive, millions, multi-millions success. Sadly, a new president came in and basically just axed fabulous Glenn Ballard's label that I was on, Java, and that was it. End of, goodbye. And I fought, and I got the record back, and it was all right because songs went into films and it made tons of money, and it was all good. But I, being the kind of backboned person, even though I'm also the other way as well, and feel a terrible lack of confidence in many ways. But in these things, I got a strong backbone. And I vowed that I would not go through that again. So the next album I did, the next recording, 12 Arrows, I wanted it to be something that was so opposite, the absolute polar opposite to the experience that Mopping Up Karma had been. So away from the studio wizardry and that brilliant pop production, I was basically live in a room with a fabulous drummer, Herman Matthews, who then worked an awful lot with Tom Jones. There's another little connection right there. And with a man who played bass for me for some years, who I adore and I adore to this day, and he was miraculous, the fabulous Sean Hurley, who ended up going on to work pretty much constantly with John Mayer and is now producing and doing all sorts of incredible things. He's spectacular. And he was in the, he was cut from the Leland Sklar cloth. That's exactly who he was. I mean, that's who he loved. That's who he listened to. Isn't that amazing? On my journey to Lee. But anyway, so what happened? You know how all my albums, all my recordings basically show what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing. And so with this one, with 12 Arrows, I had slowly begun to realize that the person that I was with, as in Harry Shearer, the person that I'd married, not only stood by me through all of this shit, but I suddenly started to wake up and smell the roses and realize how remarkable it was that someone like me would end up with a person who was also an entertainer, but who wasn't in competition or threatened by or did what all my previous boyfriends did, which was love me for who I was musically and for my talent and my humor and everything else, and then turned to hate me for it because it became so clear so quickly that this was something so special in my life and meant so much to me, something that they couldn't. And it is the way that it is for most artists. It's really, really hard to find a partner. It really is. And there he was, and stood by me through thick and thin, and also through all the other shit, of course, that I brought with me, all the joyful, mood swinging bollocks that I brought with me. So I suddenly started to look at those past relationships and realize that with all those guys, because they'd come to hate me for the very thing they'd loved me for in the beginning, they also blamed me for not being enough, when in fact I was too much is the point. I mean, good and bad. But they blamed me, and I took the blame because I thought I deserved it, because I thought I really, really deserved bad things to happen to me. I thought I was deserving, and I thought that my life would just be disappointment after disappointment. Because that was the good child part of me coming through, that felt like I deserved it somehow. I'd done a bad thing. So then with Harry, I realized that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case at all. And perhaps, whereas, before I thought it was just me, maybe it was the fact that these men, it's 50-50 in relationships, and they were abdicating responsibility for any of their part. And so that's what really led me to write this first song, which I'm going to have to do. I'll have to take this ring off. And it really was Jamie's favourite song, and you'll hear why. It's got a lot of guts and vitriol to it. So I wrote this song on me about those relationships, those men. someone finer than me. Well, you would not know Christ if you met in paradise. So darling, don't put the blame on me. I don't believe you when you say people hurt you, it's best to be alone. You're unhappy a king in a country of one, governing ghosts from your throne, governing ghosts from your throne. And you told me of your story, how you love something finer than me. Well, you would not know Christ if you met in paradise. So darling, don't put the blame on me. And you told me of your story, how you love someone finer than me. Well, you would not know Christ if you met in paradise. So darling, don't put the blame on me. Thank you so much. I can hear your applause. I can hear it. Excuse me, my bloody foot pedal. Where's Gabe when I need you, Gabe? Gabe, Gabe! My fucking pedal, hang on a second, peoples. My fucking pedal, for fuck's sake, went absolutely tits up across the floor. Hang on. Well, you would not know a floor pedal if you met in paradise. What can I say? There goes my floor pedal once more in this world. What can I say? What a fag. What a drag. What a horror. It's stuck down now. It's going to be all right. Are we all okay? Did it all work? That was all fine, wasn't it? Oh, my God. Going through some of these songs that I haven't played in, 17 years. That's 17 years old. My God, that's hard. But from that, one of my favourite lyrics. You know, I know you're not meant to pick out your favourite children, are you? But it's not about favourite children, but favourite lines. You would not know Christ if you met in paradise. And I have to say, that's how I do feel about the old gift horse situation. There are some people who don't even know what is great and what is joyful and what is good. But, you know, you can't force a person to be right for you. You can't. And I take responsibility. I'm a pant load. Can I say that? I am a pant load. Not anymore, but I was. So slowly it occurred to me, as you can imagine, that I was with this remarkable person who was actually, who loved me for everything that I was, and that, you know, and that included the shit. Oh yeah, you know, but it wasn't, I mean, it was really extraordinary because I'd spent my whole life, you know, you understand this, you're my friends, you understand this. You know how when you keep people at arm's length to make sure that you don't get hurt? That was me. I've been like that since I was a child, for good reason. And so with all these relationships, I kept them distant. The intimacy wasn't there. You know, intimacy's up here. It's not sex. It's none of that. It really is something much deeper. That's what true intimacy is loving and allowing yourself to be loved and knowing that it will hurt when you do. That's intimacy. Now, I wouldn't do that for the longest time. I think most of us have a problem actually doing that. So then, you know, I come to be with somebody who basically loves me so much, unconditionally, that it frightened the shit out of me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Of course you do. I mean, there were no mood swings, no acting out, no sobbing jacks, no outbursts big enough that could sway him or his feelings for me. And I just, that was unbelievable. He could see my pain and struggle and wanted me to be well, but he could only see the best of me. He could only see my music. He could see that creative part of me as an artist. It was extraordinary. And slowly I started to feel again and to be able to allow myself to run the risk of feeling and knowing that to love means that you'll be hurt too. That it comes with that. That's what loving is. And it felt wonderful and terrifying. And it was, well, it scared me. It scared me. And if that isn't an entree to a song, I don't know what is. I'm no ordinary girl with ordinary needs, and I want to thank you for the times when I'm not strong, the times when you can see, and I want to thank you having the kind of love that scares me. It scares me. On a Sunday in the sand, picnic in the park, and I want to thank you for the way you understand when I'm a child lost in the dark, and I want to thank you for having the kind of love scares me. It scares me. It scares me. Oh. Oh. Wasted so much time fighting what I need. I want to thank you for the kindness in your eyes when I tell you how I really feel. Yes, I want to thank you for having the kind of love, having the kind of love, having the kind of love. thank you. Thank you so much. Let me turn down this reverb right now. So, thank you so much. It's the, yeah, you understand. It's knowing that to love, to love is to lose. I mean, that's what love is. To love and to suffer and to feel all those things that you do when you feel that strongly, when you love that much. It's the shit, but it's terrifying. Especially if you're a commitment phobe, especially if you've, really been unable to really get that personal, and you've been holding the world at bay for fear of pain. So I think we all understand that one, we all understand that fear of intimacy. So it was extraordinary to me that happened. And another beautiful twist, I had, as I said, in Mopping Up Karma, I had befriended the remarkable, thank you all, I befriended the remarkable singer-songwriter Julia Fordham, and she becomes such a support system and a great friend and a joy, and it was just like the two of us were just cut from the same cloth, and we're very close. Thank God. I needed a buddy for sure, and so I felt like we always sang together and we'd sing and we'd do our party pieces, etc., whatever, and I would sing on stuff for her and play the stuff, and she'd sing on stuff for me. And then I thought, damn it, it's a time that I recorded a duet, and this was it. This really was it. And so on the album, it is a duet between Julia and I, and you can either listen to it and think that is like a fucking lesbian anthem, it's fantastic, or you can think, good God, that's how it really is. And good grief, those voices together. I think we used to say we should create a band called something like Husk. It was something like something and Husk. It was the because if anybody knows Julia, you know that I'm just like the saucy, swearing a lot Welsh person, and she's like the English sort of Rose that is very well mannered and kind. So that that's how we differ really. Is that the Husk is right here, of course. So. The good news is that when I finish this afternoon, I'm actually going to, at 5:00, film Julia and I doing that duet live in this room at this piano. So you're going to have another experience of seeing it, hearing it and seeing it for the first time between the two of us. So you'll be able to decide whether or not we are in fact closet lesbians. We're not. We just, it would be easy if we were, but we're not. Just get that straight. So that you'll see on Friday. So how exciting is that? Now, one of the greatest things about Capitol Records, if I can go back to that time, and this is the time we're talking about post-Capitol, but there are many amazing things. Like I told you, walking through the studios, the Capitol Records studios, and seeing the faces of, where do I start? Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole. I recorded the whole thing on Nat King Cole's piano. I was in Frank's studio. It was just ridiculous. I felt, because that's the Hollywood, that's the LA that I loved. That's what I cared about. I am a film buff. I watch Turner Classic Movies all day. It's on in the background, like Radio 4 is, or sometimes is as well, or was in Britain. But that's what Turner Classics is to me. It's like a best friend. I know these things by rote. And I have a love affair, because I love films, with the 30s, 40s, 50s movies. And I wish to God I could have seen LA then. I wish I could have seen LA when it was movies and music and bands and was thrilling. It's not that place anymore. It's corporate LA. It's not the exciting place that it was, I'm sure, when it was in its earlier years, when stars were stars and all the rest of it. But it must have been a thrilling place. And so I love to hear stories about old Hollywood. I love to hear stories about how this place used to be. I could just listen. John Landis, the filmmaker, the director, incredible John Landis, he's one of the great raconteurs, because he feels the same way. He's in love with the history of Hollywood, and he's such a raconteur about this stuff. So imagine when my dearest friend, one of my dearest friends in the world, Liz Heller, who was responsible for introducing me to Glenn Ballard, who fell in love with my music and then signed me to Java Records. She was a VP at Capitol. I'd met her at a party. We became buddies. I hope Liz is watching this right now, because I'm about to start talking about her family, about her, and a most amazing time in my life with her and with her dad. Liz was basically a true Hollywood kid. Her father managed Liberace. Yes, remember? Beyond the Candelabra? Absolutely. He managed Liberace, and a host of other people, including, I'll get to that in a minute, because it's fantastic. The story is remarkable. Her mother, Billie, activist, women's issues, women's rights activist, incredible woman. Her parents were phenomenal and funny and eccentric and brilliant, and it was just, I just fell in love immediately, and I love them all, and sadly they passed. But when Seymour, her father, Seymour Heller, when he died, I had to write this song about him, because there was an extraordinary thing where Liz said, finally, Judith, I'm actually going to get you together with my dad so that he can tell you about old Hollywood and you can ask him all the stories you want, and you can absolutely nag him about, tell me about Liberace's actual sexuality, about having his boyfriends have plastic surgery to look more like him, blah, blah, blah. So we went and met in Nathan Al's. Nathan Al's is gone, I believe. I'm so sad, or it's closed for the moment. The greatest Jewish deli, in fact, not jelly, Jewish, hard one, Jewish deli. Kevin, that's a hard one. Astounding place, and it's absolutely disappeared, and it makes me so sad because it was such a scene. We met there. I was not prepared for what I saw with Seymour Heller when he walked in. He must have been in his 80s. He was wearing a gold lame tour jacket with the words Elvis Presley Jr. on the back. I mean, this is the greatest thing. To me, that was just like, where can I sign? This is amazing. I just need to be adopted by this man. Phenomenal, funny, ridiculously, insanely, just fantastic. Absolutely, just kept wanting to, saying, you need management. You need management. I just love this man so much. He was incredible. Liz was like cracking up, hysterical the whole damn time that she was listening to this. And we were filming it. We were filming it so for posterity, so that she would have something she could. Now, where is that fucking film so I can give it to Liz? Because it's gold, let me tell you. So began the conversation of me asking, and she's asking questions and I'm holding the camera. And she says, so Dad, tell Judith about, she wants to know about Lee Liberace, and, did you ever see him with certain men or men that looked like, no, he was a prince. He was a prince amongst men. He was a prince. All Seymour Heller would say was that Liberace was a prince amongst men. Now this guy, he just broke the mold. All he would say, the loyalty and the love of him for his client, for this man, and everybody that worked with Liberace loved him, and that's the truth. But Seymour was old school that way. He was absolutely religiously bound and in love with his artists, including Elvis Presley Jr. We'll get to that, supposedly. Yeah. Just the one, the mother superior that was in the film had the kid. It's just too damn good. So I'm pushing and I'm pushing and I'm pushing, but I'm not getting anywhere, and I don't want to push too hard because I'm just loving this man. And so then Liz says, are there any other stories that you want to share that you think could be really interesting and that Judith would enjoy? And oh God, I forgot to turn off my notifications. So stop notifying me, please. Somebody, no more texts, please. It's coming up. I forgot to turn it off. Oh my God. Anyway, so as long as you can't see them. Oh dearie me. So I'm sitting there, and he says, "Well, there was this, the actor Victor Mature. Does anybody remember somebody called Victor Mature? Victor Mature he was really dark-haired, and he was incredibly dark and swarthy and very oily looking, and because guys used lots of oil in their hair at that time, and it's like he'd gone through handsome and come out the other side. He was so overtly over the top handsome. He'd come out the other side and he'd been hit by the ugly stick. I don't know what that. Fuck's sake. So that's what happened. And Victor Mature, it turns out, would go on USO tours to entertain the troops. And this is the bit that I wasn't expecting. Victor Mature's appendage was so large that he and a few of the women who weren't too upset by the goings-on, they would make spitballs out of paper, just basically lick them and make them into balls, and they would flick them at Victor Mature, who would use his appendage, his old Milton Bull, his stick, whatever you want to call it. He would use it as a baseball bat and knock them away. Now, I wasn't expecting this from a man in his 80s. Neither was Liz. I dropped the camera. She was hysterical. The whole thing was just like an absolute mess. But it is one of the greatest stories I have ever come across in my life. Some of the ladies, he said, were a little offended by this, but for those who were of a certain stomach, they would play spitball, baseball, with Victor Mature's appendage. I've never been able to get that image out of my head. It's one of the greatest stories I've ever heard in my life. Thank you. And that was just, I was in love. I was in love. And so I wrote this song when Seymour passed. Because, honestly, you know, those times, those days, not just the spitballs with the appendage, but I'm just talking about Hollywood at that time when it must have been just wild and fabulous and amazing and crazy and a thrilling place. That's how I imagine it, of course. But I wanted to write a song for Seymour, for those times, for the heydays, for the times that I yearn for, that I lost, that are no longer here, as we know. And so this is a song, and I dedicate it to Seymour Heller and to Billy Heller, two people I love so much in my life, and to my extraordinary friend, Liz Heller, who I hope is watching. This is called The Heydays, and I hope to goodness I can remember how to play it. Here we go. Oh. Elizabeth once regaled me tales of her father. Showbiz or Hollywood, that was the life she had seen. I sat amazed as she told me of the days of her childhood. Could hardly wait till the time when she'd tell me again. And one day we met, we sat in an old Jewish deli, young Liberace and spitballs with Victor Mature. I sat and I flirted with this old man who never talked dirty. And the more I suggested, the more he stayed loyal and pure. So give me the old boys with stories to tell of the way this town was, the films that we love, that we know so well. These were the heydays. The heydays. And I cried when he died, 'cause it felt like the end of an era. The classiest guys were creating an exciting new world. And I thought of the pride in his voice as he spoke of his daughter, how the wife was the love of his life, how he called them his girls. So Elizabeth, please regale me of tales of your father. Showbiz or Hollywood, tell me the life that you knew. 'Cause you're cut from the cloth, you're a chip off the old block, my dear. And I'm glad that I knew him, and I'm glad, so glad that I know you. So give me the old boys with stories to tell of the way this town was, the films that we love, that we know so well. These were the heydays. Give me the old boys with stories to tell of the way this town was, the films that I love, that I know so well. These were the heydays. Heydays. So that was the Heydays. And I truly feel that way about this place, about this city. As much as I moan and complain about it in many ways, as to what it's become, what it was just so thrilling. And you can still feel pieces of that in this city. You can still feel it. You can still get that sense of it when you see those movies. You know, Pedro's up living close to the place where Double Indemnity, I believe it was filmed. And it's just like, even seeing Laurel and Hardy, I recognize the streets that are in Culver City, that are near Culver City Studios. I know all the places around the Paramount lot. I see all this in films and I know it instinctively, and it still moves me. It's very moving. It's extraordinary. So thank you to the Hellers, Seymour, Billy, and to Darling Liz, because it really is an extraordinary thing to have those experiences with people, as I have done since coming to live here. So now I bring you to the end of today's For Fuck's Sake. As I said, I will be recording in but a couple of hours with the fabulous Julia Fordham. We will be duetting on That Scares Me, and you will be seeing and hearing that on Friday. Until then, you know the drill, lovely people. How are we all doing? Let me see who else is on now. We have Mike, thank you, Torthan, Carol, Steve, fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. You know what to do. Keep those masks on, because it's spiking, and those fucking young people, for fuck's sake. Okay, that's all I want to say. Don't go near young people. Just keep them outside. Kate, keep your children outside. Just lock them out like wolves. I jest, of course. Darling Sue Flood. So, my friends, I will see you on Sunday. Till then, mask, distance, wipe, 6 feet at least. I don't give a shit. You know what to do. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. This has been For Fuck's Sake with me, Judith Owen. I'm off to have a fucking cold shower. I'm dying here. Wear your umbrellas and galoshes, you people over there in Grand Britannia. But until Sunday, love you all. I'm coming in. I'm moving in for the stopping. Mwah! Bye, guys.